This is The Raid, exposing the dark world of America's deportation machine. I'm your host, John Carlos Frey. On the podcast today is Jack Duffy. Originally from Napa, California, Jack is a bagpipe player, an activist, and a computer science major at Chapman University in Southern California. He attended his first protest at the age of 14 when he joined his mom at a march during President Trump's first term. The 21-year-old has become known for playing the bagpipes at recent protests in Portland and Los Angeles. He was recently arrested at a protest in downtown Los Angeles at a detention facility where he witnessed a pregnant woman being shot in the stomach by a non-lethal projectile fired by law enforcement from the roof of the facility. Duffy uses his musicality to not just empower demonstrators playing marches like the 11-minute-long 600-plus-year-old Black Donald's March, but Duffy also communicates his sentiments towards the police and federal agents directly to their faces. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I just wanted to start a little bit with your personal history, if you're okay with that.
Sure, yeah.
So you started playing bagpipes. Who starts playing bagpipes, first of all? I just want to know how you even got turned on to that instrument.
Yeah, I happened to get into Irish music in high school, and I heard it was Tommy Makem playing The Rising of the Moon on the tin whistle, and I was like, I have to learn the tin whistle now. So I learned the tin whistle, and that's it's played very similarly to a bagpipe.
But it's just a single
reed
instrument, right?
It's like a flute with no reed. It has a fipple, so you don't even have to, you don't have no embouchure. You just blow into it and the sound comes out. So I learned that, and it was fun. And then I saw someone like playing a tin whistle song on the bagpipe, and I was like, I can do that better. I think it was Danny Boy, and I'm like, I can play that better than that person. I couldn't find a good version of Danny Boy, so I'm like, okay, I'll gotta learn the bagpipes.
Does that make you a popular guy in high school to be playing the bagpipes?
The issue was that you learn on a recorder for the first 6 months. So I did that. Once I got to college is when I got my actual set of bagpipes. And then that meant I was spending 3 hours every single night just in the basement of the dorms, hammering away at these things, trying to get them figured out.
That's kind of annoying, isn't it? I mean, it's a loud instrument.
Yeah, it's loud as shit.
And it's not melodic. It's not like a violin or something like that. It has a shriek to it or a loudness to it.
Especially when you're just learning.
Could people hear you from the basement?
They could hear it into the elevator, they're at the top of the elevator and the sound travels through the metal,
Were they shut the F up? Or?
People liked it. People can't tell when you mess up, people don't know. So it made me popular after I figured out how to play it.
Is it the affinity to Irish music, or is it that you like the sound of a bagpipe?
It's everything, because I wanted to play Irish music on it, but now I mostly play Scottish tunes on it because those are the ones that are written for it. The way the instrument works, if someone asks me to play Fade to Black or whatever, you can't. There's no possible way to play that on just a bagpipe.
You grew up in the Bay Area?
Yeah, Napa.
In Napa.
Yeah.
And you grew up with parents who were activists? If I'm getting too personal, you can say.
They're liberals. Generally, they didn't really go out to things. I mean, my dad's a teacher, and that's kind of his way of giving back. And yeah, I wouldn't say they're activists, but they were definitely involved in the community.
They're concerned.
Yeah.
So this idea of you playing bagpipes at a protest to them is not a big deal.
They just don't want me getting hurt.
Well, of course.
Of course. But, I just like doing dangerous things, and I'd be doing this for an actual good reason than, putting myself in danger for no reason,
I read somewhere that you had been to your first protest when you were 14. You're 21 now?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it was I think it was a women's rights march in Napa. That was my first protest. I didn't go to anything until this summer. When I went to SF on the day it kicked off, we saw the news and I was like, I'm going to SF,
San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco. Yeah. And I had my pipes with me in my bag, but I was with my parents and it got a little sketchy and they're like, we're leaving. We're going to get Chinese food, So
it's good Chinese food in San Francisco.
It was great. It was great food, but we were there when 150 people got kettled and arrested. It's
what was that? Was it an ICE raid?
It was outside the ICE building in San Francisco. It was it was like, I think everybody saw what was happening in LA, and like we're going out to our building in SF, you know.
When you say kettled, what does that mean?
When the police just kind of block everybody off, and then they give an order to disperse, but they don't allow you to disperse. So they'll say, like, everybody, you have to leave now, you get arrested, but then they're just staying there with their clubs, you know, and like, we'll hit you if you try and leave.
So you and your parents were in a protest demonstration that got surrounded by law enforcement?
Yeah, but we were getting Chinese food when that happened.
I see.
So
you got out before.
Yeah.
And the purpose of kettling people is to start to arrest people?
Yeah, well, this is what happened to me last Saturday when I got arrested. Was we were kettled, but the idea is they just take like one person, take the next person, charge them with that, like waste 3 hours of their time because they have to be arrested for a while. It goes on your record. Yeah, and sometimes they let you out, sometimes they don't.
But the purpose is to give you some kind of a record or a punishment for being there, to teach you a lesson, kind of a thing.
I guess, yeah.
I guess. So let's go from you learning bagpipes to you going on your first Women's March protest. You didn't play the bagpipes then, right?
No. I played the cello back then, but that's not a very good marching instrument.
That's not one you take to a protest with you. What's the idea behind, or what was the thinking behind bringing your bagpipes to a protest? How did that come about?
The first time I had them and played them, I was living out of my car in Portland. I just went out there. I was just traveling through there because I was going to Portland, Montana, and I was street performing for money, gas money, and everything. And I went to it was June 17th. There was a big No King's Day march. So I was like, all right, we're marching. I'll play them. So I got them out. I played them. People liked them. After that march ended, they were like, everyone who wants to get after it, go to the ICE building. It's going down there. So I was like, all right. So I walked over there. And I got there and they're just like hammering us with tear gas and like rubber bullets. And like, I'd see there's a woman on a stretcher with her eye out or something like that from the rubber bullets. And I think this was Border Patrol that was out that day, or that was ICE that was out there.
In Portland?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was no kind of thought before you brought the bagpipes to that first march, or that first No Kings March?
Well, because I kind of see it like, I see it as almost a weapon, you know? It's like, it was always played in Scotland during the battles or before, because like you hear that and you know, that's where our guys are, you know? And it's like, it's so loud, it's intimidating, and it like, so I've always seen it as a battle instrument. You know,
is that what it was played for traditionally or originally, historically?
How far back do you go?
Well, I don't know. I read that you played something that was a 600-year-old song. So if I were playing bagpipe 600 years ago, was I leading March to War? Go ahead.
The march was Black Donald's March, Pibroch Donald Do, which was written after a battle to kind of commemorate the victory of one side. And the lyrics are just talking about how one side ran away, the other side stayed, you know, and that they did play that during battles because it kind of became the tune of that clan, you know? And so when you hear that, you're like, that's our song, you know? And they used it for that. The British Army reworked it into like an upbeat, like 6/8 quick march. And then they'd use that in battles. It was the Seaforths and the Camerons, I think, who used it the most. So it became like the regimental march of that regiment, and everyone in the regiment knows it, and it's just something that like, you can hear and know that you're safe or your guys are there.
So when you brought the bagpipes to the first No King's March, you knew this history, and you knew what significance it had for you, and the bagpipes should be played for some kind of a battle march or victory march. It had some significance that way, and that's why you brought them?
Yeah, and because I think a protest is almost like an old-fashioned battle, because you have two sides and they'll like clash a little bit. Like there's no one's being gunned down, hopefully. And that's the kind of thing that the bagpipes are made for. You know, if you can bring a bagpipe out in Ukraine right now. You know,
you couldn't.
No, not on the battlefield.
It's controversial.
Or, well, you'd
be killed.
You'd be killed immediately, right? But if you can play the bagpipes a little bit back behind in like a medieval type skirmish, and that's kind of what the protest battlefield looks like to me, you know?
It's sort of announcing your clan or being dedicated to your clan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really Scottish, but I just think it's announcing like where the protesters were here. I think it appeals to white people, you know, and I hope that like
it's a funny way of saying
maybe some guys who are like those protesters hate white people. Like, no, there's a fucking bagpipe there, you know. That is the whitest instrument possible. If they accept me playing that, then maybe, you know.
It's a musical instrument that you decided to use as a form of protest itself.
Yes. It's that, and I have to go like anecdotally with it, but like I think if other protesters hear me playing and they're kind of scared to get into it, if I'm like up at the front and they hear me playing, they'll want to come in and they'll think it's good over here, you know. Like so we're outside the MDC. They're tear gassing us. There's like
this is downtown Los Angeles. A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And there's like 100 Border Patrol National Guard guys out here. It's a kind of a long street like this. There's the parking garage right here. There's a cross street here. LAPD's here. We had our big mess there. Once they started tear gassing us, probably the crowd went from like 400 to like maybe 80, you know, maybe even like down to 40. But I stayed there and I kept playing, and people would come in and be like, hey, I heard you playing from all the way down there, and that's why I came over here, you know.
They were attracted to it.
Yeah, because if the piper's still going, it can't be that bad, you know. Like, if I'm still fucking playing bagpipe, the tear gas can't be that strong, you know?
Sense of security, safety?
Yeah, I think...
Familiarity?
Yeah.
I mean, I associate bagpipes with funerals.
Yes.
Or a serious event, to commemorate a serious event kind of thing. It's not something that I listen to just in the background, you know? It has a voice.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you personally? I think you have kind of said it, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean... Well, I play for all kinds of things. Like if there's a party I'm going to, and everyone's drinking, I'll show up with the bagpipes.
No, come on,
burn
man.
it down a little bit. Yeah,
buzzkill.
Yeah, buzzkill. No, they love it because they hear it coming in from like the distance. Like, what the fuck is that? You know. And then like St. Patrick's Day is a big time for that. But
that makes sense.
There's that for me. It's the most money I've paid them off just by like playing them in the street. You know, like a
street corner with a hat out for cash.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do in September in Huntington Beach, you can get like $200 an hour sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. So it means that to me. And then like I've played it for military funerals. I've played it for a million different things, and it just feels good to play. You know, like you're playing this instrument. There's just like this bubble of sound around you, and you can feel the whole thing like vibrating. It just feels good to play. You know. You
enjoy the actual physical playing of the bagpipes.
Yeah.
All of those things sound different to me than bringing them to a protest where people are being kidnapped from the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does it have a different significance in that context?
Yeah. In there, it's a defiant thing. You know, I'm playing songs that are like, they're tear gassing us. I want them to know that the tear gas can't stop me from playing. You know, like I don't think they're the enemy at this point. I want them to feel impotent against trying to stop me from playing, you know? And then I want everybody around me to hear the sound and know that like we have this here. And it's like I'll start playing with the drummer and then people start banging on stuff and dancing, and it's just like it's just trying to show defiance, I guess.
So when the immigration raids started,
yeah.
And was the first place that you went to protest was in Oregon, in Portland?
The first one was in SF, and then
oh, that's right.
Yeah. And then I was just kind of traveling up there and happened to end up at that protest. And then once I came back to Napa, for my birthday, and I started going out, the game in San Francisco was basically, we would, on days where there's a lot of activity by ICE, we would set up outside the court, and because they were taking people who were going to their immigration meetings, you know, they were taking people there. We would just set up outside and try and fight the ICE agents who would come through, and like
immigration officials were going into the courthouse, nabbing people who were there legally, or at least looking to legalize their status, and taking them.
They're basically, there's two buildings, one on MacArthur, one on Sansom, and we would just try and like deploy to whichever one we think are going to come through so we can stop them. Yeah.
What about the way that immigrants were being treated made you want to come and show up?
Well, I mean, everybody's family immigrated here at some point. A good portion of mine came over during the Irish potato famine, you know, And if they hadn't been able to come here, they just would have been dead, you know? So I think, like, how can I say that you can't come here if my family did, you know? And
so you have some kinship with other immigrants because of the way that your ancestors came?
I guess, well, I've been here forever, but like a lot of the songs I play on the bagpipes are just talking about why we came here, you know? Like Skibbereen or something like that. That's just detailing how bad it was in the old country and then how they're able to come here, you know? And I don't think it's, I just think that the idea that it's insane that we can deport people for coming here, you know?
Men your age
Yeah.
Are concerned about other things and not necessarily about people that they don't even know or don't even have any kind of a relationship to. You don't personally know the person who's in the courthouse. Yeah. What makes you stop what you're doing, your self-interests, and then drop what you're doing and go and be concerned about somebody that you've never met?
Yeah. Well, there's the selfish motivators, which are like, eventually they'll get to me, you know?
You have an understanding that if you don't take care of it now, they're going to come for you?
It'll get worse and worse. Now that I've bought in and I've been marked as being a protester, it'll eventually get to me, but that's not why. It's just basic fucking decency, I think, you know? Like if
someone... Were you always this way?
In high school, I mostly just cared about playing lacrosse and trying to get laid. I think
that's what I'm talking about. I mean, most guys your age or a little bit younger are just thinking about that, right?
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't fault that, but to actually start being concerned about strangers.
Yeah, I think the music was a huge part of it because it just showed me the other perspective, you know? Showed me that like this has happened to people like me, you know? This happened to people in my bloodline. That gave me a lot of buy-in, and then just like how miserable and wretched some of the songs are. I just can't, I don't want anybody to go through that. So this is like, that's what showed me there's something wrong. And then you got to figure out what you can do about it.
What's wrong according to your understanding of what's happening?
So that's a question that I've been wrestling with is like, is what's going on now, is that what America's like? Is Trump kind of the natural product of the American system? Or is the American system good and Trump is just this exterior thing that's messing everything up, and once he's out, we can go back to normal? You know,
is Trump a result of a country gone wrong?
Yeah.
Or is he pulling the country going in a wrong direction? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Which way do you lean?
I don't know.
You don't?
I don't know. That's the thing that I've been fighting with, because I cared about this stuff before Trump, but I wasn't out there. I wasn't doing anything about it at this point. And then hopefully at some point, old Trump's going to die. But like, I don't think when Trump dies, everything's going to be magically fixed. You know, it's not a movie.
Do you think that Trump has opened a door of hate, racism, discrimination, I'm better than you, greed, all of these kinds of ills of society, and kind of given them a foundation?
I think that stuff was always there.
Right, but he's actually legitimized a lot of that.
Yeah.
And made it mainstream.
Yeah. And yeah, in terms of that, I don't know, but I'll say my biggest fear for the future is that Trump's the wrecking ball, and then the tech CEOs can just buy up all the scraps and rebuild it how they want it. That's what I'm
a possibility too.
That's what I'm scared about. That's what I worry about personally. But yeah,
that it's going to be irreparable. We won't be able to fix it after he's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you concerned now? Is some of your action oriented to try and keep that from happening?
Yeah, naturally I feel like I have to do my part, because I think I have a duty to do what's right for everybody. In terms of stopping that outcome, I don't know what I can do besides just trying to not work for them. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, you joined with other voices and other demonstrators, protesters, podcasters, whoever it is that has the same kind of bent that you do. Maybe all together we could?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
So the first time you played the bagpipes, you were at a courthouse? Outside of...
I think it was a detention center.
Did being there physically, watching it go down, not necessarily people being apprehended, but being amongst people who were fighting against what the regime is doing, did that embolden you more? Did it sort of excite you and get you more interested?
That kind of crystallized all my thoughts, I guess, because I look on one side, there's Like they had one of their guys pulled a pistol out at one point and pointed at us, and I saw that. I saw
what guy? Law enforcement?
I think he was Border Patrol. I couldn't.
For what reason did he pull a pistol on you?
He was mad. It was a group. It was a group I was in. I saw him, and I'm like, oh shit, that's an actual that's a gun.
Were you taunting him?
We had a chant going towards one of their guys who was like their roof sniper. But him, I wasn't. I was just playing at that point. I mean. Like, I saw that they're just hammering us with tear gas. I saw the woman, I think she took one in the eye. I don't know. And then I coughed up some gas and I looked behind me and there's like 6 people with water bottles out.
Say that last part again. You got tear gas in your face?
Yeah.
You were affected by it?
Yeah, it didn't go off super near to me, and I had I was playing and then I turned around and there's someone with like goggles for me and a mask, which didn't do much because I have a blowpipe going through and like people with water. I'm like, that's the side I want to be on, that crystallized. Like I already knew that, but I didn't know it,
Yeah. What is tear gas like?
Honestly, either I've been lucky or it just isn't that bad, because if it gets, I can usually cough and keep playing without it really affecting me. I wear goggles and I have a respirator that goes onto the blowpipe, and that works okay. It works okay.
You have a setup for tear gas?
Yeah.
So that you can keep playing the bagpipes?
Yeah.
Is that possible? You have goggles and then something to breathe through, and then you're blowing on a repeater or a...
It's it's a normal like Home Depot respirator. I drilled a hole in the front and stuck the blowpipe through.
Like if I'm spray painting my house, kind of a respirator thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what we use out there usually, and it does work as long as there's a slight bit of downward pressure from the bag that flexes the plastic around there, and then the easiest way for air to get through is through the filters at that point. So that works pretty well.
Could you be the only person on the planet that knows how to play bagpipes in tear gas?
I think so. I don't know. I'll still like back off if it's really heavy because it's not good for you. But yeah, I mean, and the point is, I want them to like watch me get tear gassed and it not bother me when you keep playing, and then they're like, "Fuck,"
You think that's their goal, is to shut you down?
I don't think they're really targeting me with the tear gas, but if they just see people not caring, I think it hurts the morale on the other side. It helps the morale over here. It's like I remember when this started happening, I was watching a bunch of like history videos on the conduct of like British officers, and they were not allowed to duck ever.
What do you mean?
Like when they're fighting in the trenches or whatever.
Oh, I see.
They're not allowed to duck because it doesn't help at all, and the men don't want to see it. So that's why I wanted to have the respirator on there, so I don't have to.
You stand your ground.
Yeah, as best I can. As best I can.
And continuing to play the bagpipes is a way for you to defy whatever it is they're trying to get you to do.
Yeah.
Disperse, leave, stop playing the bagpipes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and hopefully it gets other people to come there and stand with me.
You're not afraid?
I'm never afraid in the moment.
Afterward?
Afterwards, I'm afraid, yeah.
You think about what just happened?
I think about what just happened, or I hear that somebody got it bad, or I'm just like...
Somebody got hurt?
Yeah, somebody got hurt.
Could have been you.
The last time, I've been thinking about this a lot. So, okay. We're on the street. There's all their guys up there. There's probably around 60 of us here. They've been tear gassing a bit. I see a guy with a sniper rifle set up kind of on the stairs, and that pissed me off for 2 reasons. Because one, like, you're pointing a sniper rifle at civilians, like, fuck you. And then secondly, I thought that it was very lazy the way that he set up. Like, I shouldn't have been able to see that, so that pissed me off too.
He was trying to hide himself?
Yeah, because he was kind of in the shadows. He did all right with the silhouette, but I was like, if I can see you, clearly you're just a third-rate soldier. If I'm getting capped by anybody, I'd rather be a real soldier. But so then I start yelling out like, hey, like, sniper over there, sniper over there. I was like, this next song is called like "The Sniper's a Dick Bag" or whatever, and I played a song. But then a bunch of our guys get flashlights on them.
There's a song that's called "The Sniper's a Dick Bag"?
No, no, I actually played a different song. But I mean, it's an old joke where if you want to screw with people, you say this song's called this, and you play a song, and you say this is another song called this. You play the same song again. Sorry, yeah. But we get flashlights on them. They open fire on us, and there's a pregnant woman up at the front who was recording. and she takes at least a couple in the stomach, and she goes down. A couple of the rubber coated bullets, less lethal rounds.
They were bullets. They weren't pepper balls.
No, yeah, they were. I'm pretty sure they were the rubber covered bullets.
Was she pregnant? Is this the one who was pregnant?
Yeah.
She was shot in the stomach.
Yeah. So I saw that. She was lying down on the ground. This is the issue. We get 50 people all around her, and then nobody's looking towards the border guys. No one's looking towards the law enforcement agency. So I grabbed my one friend there, and I'm like, we're just going to sit here and point that way. And I was yelling at them to look this way. But like, I saw her black out. I saw her eyes roll back into her head, you know, and then like in the moment I didn't care, but after the fact, I'm like, fuck, man, you know, like, firstly, I wouldn't have cared that much if I got shot in the stomach because I'm not pregnant, you know, like it should have been me that got hit and not her because I called out the sniper, you know. So
why did they fire?
Because I think we had flashlights was the reason they were firing.
Is that considered to be a dangerous weapon?
They do. They consider it to be a dangerous weapon.
A flashlight? Why?
Yeah. If you have
to blind them or something?
Yeah. There's people that like have gotten grabbed by DHS, and one of the charges is they have the flashlight. They get in trouble for that. So I think that was their excuse to open fire. And the woman, I think the woman who took the bullet, I don't think she even had a flashlight. I think she just had a camera and happened to be in the front.
He wasn't firing necessarily at her. He just happened to hit her.
Yeah. I'm not, I can't know his motivation.
Of course. Who did the firing? Was it LAPD?
No. So at this point, it was a mix of Border Patrol, National Guard, and then just like general DHS guys. LAPD was on the side of the road right here. And then they were also on the side of the road here. And once the tear gas cleared up, they just kind of marched in. They had from both sides, you know.
And you were protesting a detention facility? A facility downtown where they take immigrants that have been detained to process, correct?
Yeah.
What is that place called?
It's the Metropolitan Detention Center at 535 North Alameda.
Right.
We see the ICE vans go in and out, you know. Like over the summer before I had to go to school, I was there for like, I'd be there, you take shifts, you know, because we want to have somebody out there 24/7. Because when a bunch of vans leave, you know what that means, you know?
They're taking them to a detention facility, to custody?
Or they're going out on a raid.
Oh, they're going on a raid.
Yeah. Or something. So we'd keep track of those vans, and that's like, because if we know there's vans coming out, then we can let the whole community know. And they can try and get people safe, and they can get people to follow the vans and get... Yeah.
So there's a whole network of people taking the information that you're gathering at this facility. If vans are leaving, they're going to go out in the neighborhood and start doing raids. Yeah. So you're letting those community members know that vans are on their way, kind of thing?
It was usually other people sending the message out, because I'm not like a...
But that's the network of people there. That's why you're monitoring that location?
Yeah.
And you're playing the bagpipes?
I think I only really use those like when we're bored, or like I want to play a song for the detainees in there. You know, I know, I don't know what it's called, but I learned it from a Mexican bagpipe band, and I think they know it, you know, because they cheer sometimes. But, we had a 24/7 thing. So like there's some days I come in at 6 a.m. and like relieve the night shift people.
I don't like to use it this way, but it's coming to my mind, so I'm just going to say it. Renee Good.
Yeah.
Alex Peretti.
Yep.
Both protesters, both in the vicinity of armed forces, armed Border Patrol agents. We're doing similar things to you. We're standing in the middle. We're trying to protect protesters. We're not, I wouldn't say minding their own business, but we're there because of the immigration raids.
Yeah.
And they were both shot and killed.
Yeah.
By the very same people that you were standing in front of with your bagpipes or pointing to somebody with a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Do you think about those two?
Yeah, I think about them and everybody else, you know.
Who's everybody else?
Everybody who's been killed in the detention center. I don't know names, but Keith Porter was shot in LA by a nice guy.
Over 30 people.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay. You know, it maybe that happens to me. Maybe it doesn't. I think
you think about it that lightly. Maybe it happens to me.
Maybe it happens to me. Maybe the pipes are good enough luck that It doesn't happen that way. There's,
But you're not. It doesn't sound like you're even thinking about that. I don't know. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just wondering what goes through someone's mind when they see those kinds of events happen. I'm going to stop going to protest. I don't want to put myself close to a border patrol agent. These guys mean business. I don't know. Does it go like that?
I guess since I started playing bagpipes, I've been raised on stories of bagpipers doing that.
This is what it means to be a bagpiper.
Yeah. The most recent one I think was Bill Millen during World War II, where on Normandy, when they were storming Normandy, he was playing, and the Germans never shot him because they thought he was insane, and that's part of it. Like I want to live up to that. I don't want to get shot, but I just want to act like maybe 10% as bravely as they did,
It comes with some kind of a responsibility if you're playing the bagpipes.
I think so. I think it's. Yeah.
Kind of making the bagpipes not a musical instrument. You're making them into a statement.
Yeah. And it is for me. It's the culture almost, for like when people think, oh, this guy plays the bagpipes, he must be insane. So you get only insane people try and play them, and then the ones that do play it just try and outdo each other. And then it's that, but it's also at this point, like, this is how the country's going. If we don't fix this, I'd rather I'm just dead at that point. If I'm not doing everything I can to try and fix this, then there's not going to be a world that I want to live in.
Have you met a family who has had someone taken, or do you know, let's just say because the majority of them are Latino, do you know a Latino family that you grew up with? You seem to have a real deep caring for the population that's affected.
Yeah, I grew up in Napa, which is almost exactly 50% Latino. Like, I have Latino friends, and I care about them. For people, I know people have been taken. The Baldwin Park 3, I knew 2 of them. All right, they were the 3 women that got taken and arrested. They're all organizers for ISAV LA. I knew them, and then like I'll be out there and I'll look up in the window and see there's like 8 guys with their hands up on the thing, and that gets to me, and I'll see their families come put up a sign, or like a sign that says like, we love you, so they can see it from the detention center. Or like I was out in the Otay Mesa facility, I can hear them screaming at us from inside, and you don't forget that, and then sorry,
you go ahead.
And then I think about maybe the first person I saw got taken was on August 7th. We were having burgers outside. We were like barbecuing burgers and everything, grilling burgers. Sorry, and it got kind of hot. The DHS guys started shooting at our press with pepper balls. I thought this was just a chill barbecue night, so I was wearing a full like kilt and like suit and everything, so I wasn't really in it at that point. But my friend like stepped up in front, and then DHS just slams him on the ground.
For what reason?
Because he stepped between them and the press that they were shooting at, and he was still on the sidewalk. There's a video of it.
Why are they shooting at the press? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because they have cameras. Yeah.
Are you aware that most of what you're describing is a violation of your own civil rights?
Yes.
That you have a right to protest, you have a right to assemble, you have a right to shout at officers, to play bagpipes. Maybe you're not allowed to approach them in a certain zone, or accost them, touch them, push them, that sort of thing, but you're not describing any of that. You're describing some kind of a peaceful assembly.
Yeah. I don't really believe we have that right.
That right's been taken away?
I think so. I think it's, yeah. I don't believe we really have a lot of the rights that we think we do. If Freddie got shot for just concealed carrying, we don't have the right to concealed carry. Like you get arrested on a traffic stop, and if you piss off that officer for whatever reason, he can just get you if he wants.
So they can do whatever they want now.
It seems like that's the way it is at this point.
What about the flip side of that? I don't necessarily believe what I'm about to say, but there is a side that thinks that the people that they're apprehending need to go.
Yeah.
That they've violated laws. Some of them may be hardened criminals, and that you are impeding the progress of federal officers who have every right and duty by their office, by their employment.
Yeah.
This is their job to arrest people, detain people, and eventually deport them. So you, protesters standing in between that process, is somehow hampering law enforcement.
Yeah. So Supreme Court passed something that allows them to racially profile. That's a violation of the Constitution. They are not going after criminals. They're going after the guy selling flowers on the side of the road. You know, there was an alert that went out that they were in some area, and I saw a woman's flower sitting on the side of the road, and they're gathering her stuff because she just got grabbed. You cannot convince me that that person's a violent criminal. You know, they're going after the street vendors. They're going into schools. They're taking people who are trying to do it the right way from the courthouses. You know, and I can't be convinced that they're only targeting hardened criminals because I've seen them take people who aren't just for being brown, you know?
It's certainly what they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing it to protect you and me from this criminal element that the prior administration has let into the country.
Yeah.
I hear that every day.
Yeah.
You don't buy it.
I guess I personally hold the less defensible opinion that we should let as many people as we can in, but just focusing on what they're doing today, I think they've so far overstepped that because they have a quota to meet. You know, they want to get X arrests per day.
But listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, just follow the logic the way that I hear you say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot people, kill people, maim people, violate laws, U.S. citizens included, just so I can fulfill a quota.
Yeah.
It's that insidious. They don't care about human life or the fact that they're violating people's civil rights or breaking laws in the process. We just need to fill a number.
Yeah. I don't believe they care about human life. It's why people yell at them and say you're the Gestapo, you're Nazis. I don't yell that because I think they like that. You know?
They wear that as a badge?
I think so.
You're painting a pretty ugly picture of the guys in uniform.
I don't mean our military. I mean Border Patrol.
Of course. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is there a racial component to it?
Yeah. I mean, the Supreme Court passed the thing where they are allowed to racially profile based off accent or looks and all that.
So if I hear you speaking Spanish or English with a thick accent, or you're brown, or you're standing at Home Depot or in a car wash where traditionally Latino, maybe undocumented people hang out or work, without even asking, without any proof, I can just take you.
Yeah.
That's the Supreme Court ruling.
I don't know if they're taking them, but they're at least stopping them asking for ID, and I have to assume that they're grabbing them. It's like I told my mom she should put a giant Mexican flag on her soccer mom minivan, you know, just to waste their time.
So they might come after her and drive up next to her, and she doesn't look like she should have a Mexican flag, I'm assuming.
No, and her family's been here since the revolution. So
tell me a little bit about you getting arrested.
I guess I've been taken by LAPD twice. There was a time on Saturday where we got kettled, processed through for 3 hours. That didn't bother me that much.
Did you get handcuffed?
Yeah. It was zip ties.
And you had to stay in the location where they were kettling you?
Yeah. Okay. So this was after, I think they declared a legal assembly right around when the pregnant woman took the rubber bullet, maybe a little bit after. We're all there trying to help her. And then they marched both their police lines in. They're all guys with the pipes, the batons, I guess. And then they say you have to leave the area or we'll arrest you, and then they physically stop you from leaving the area, you know? Which is why I'm not insanely bothered about the charge, because there's evidence of them not, the requirements for a conviction there are that you were able to leave the area and chose not to, and that they gave the order to disperse in a way that everybody could hear it. Nobody knew until we got pushed and then let us leave. So I'm extremely unbothered about those charges.
It's a misdemeanor anyways, isn't it?
Yeah. And
but did that affect your psyche at all? I mean, I don't know a lot of people who've been arrested or zip tied and then you go back for seconds. It happened to you twice.
Yeah. Well, the first time was August 12th. It was we had a ton of protesters there. This is what always happens. We had a ton of people. We have like the mariachi like bus come through, which I love that thing. So we have like 500 people, and then police come out. They split us. This is kind of the pattern that happens a lot. Is like we'll have a big march come in or something, and then the people aren't that. There's a ton of people. The police respond like there's 500 people, 450 leave, and they got 50 people there versus however many police officers. That's about what happened this day, where we got pushed back. I think the street is Aliso. There's maybe 40 of us there. And I'm playing. I go up to one of the cops, and I'm like, I was pretty mad at this point, so I was like, hey, like, I love Amazing Grace because we play it whenever you guys get shot, you know? Sometimes they pay me $200. I said that on the loudspeaker, and I played Amazing Grace. And then about an hour later, I'm in the line, and I think like six cop cars come in the street behind me, and then a bunch of them just rush me and tackle me. Like tackle me around, like stop resisting, you know, and I was like, dude, it's chill. But so they handcuffed me, you know, knee in the back and everything. Search all my stuff. I think they realized I was white, like halfway through the search.
Were you resisting?
No.
Were you antagonizing them by sort of taunting them with the music that you were going to be playing? You think they came after you because of that?
I think so. But they handcuffed me, searched all my stuff. Then I got the rest of the story in like little bits from other people. First when they tackled me, they're yelling, he has a weapon. So that's why I call the bagpipes a weapon now, you know? And then there were like, I remember I was singing a rebel song when they walked me to the cars, but then the investigator asked me, when you pushed that woman back there, did you do it on purpose or on accident? You know?
The woman who was shot?
No, this was
a separate time.
Yeah, this is a totally different time. Did you push her on purpose or on accident? I'm like, dude, are we in third grade? Like, there's no world in which I fall for that trick question. You know,
they're trying to pin it on you.
This was
what woman are they referring to that you pushed?
There's a woman who's wearing a green shirt who I'd never seen or spoken to, and they were like, we grabbed this guy. We need to figure out if we can charge him with anything. And then other protesters told me later that they had tried to get that woman to say I did push her, which I was like, dude, I'd never seen her.
So they're trying to trump up charges on you.
Yeah, they're trying to trick me. And if I had said like I pushed her on accident or something, they would have given me a battery charge, right? So, and then they asked me some other stuff. I had to explain what a bagpipe is like 4 times because somehow this fucking LAPD doesn't know what it is. But and then they just let me go like 30 minutes later. No charges, no arrest. Just
if they accuse you of having a weapon on you, that means that they can use some kind of force. That's sometimes a signal.
Yeah. I didn't even hear that they were yelling he has a weapon. Like, I was just, oh man, I'm getting tackled, you know? I heard that from other people after. And there's no, hey, like, we're going to arrest you. They just sprinted out and all dogpiled me, you know?
And you're going to go back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll be back.
That's not even a blip.
It is a blip, and I probably drank more now, but, yeah, because it's like they want to get me down. I'm not going to give them what they want, you know?
And where does that come from? It's kind of like a fiery resistance personality that you have.
I guess I've been a lacrosse goalie my entire life.
You're going to blame that on sports?
Maybe. And the whole thing with lacrosse goalie is like you're just going to keep fighting. Like, I like losing games because I just get a million shots. I get to play a lot, you know? I think so that gave me some determination. I don't know. I just get mad when people tell me I can't do things, you know?
So you are the crazy bagpipe player?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Friends your age, friends in college, people that you associate with agree with the way that you think about life?
They do think I'm insane, but generally I think pretty much most of the people I talk to approve of the protesting side. And even like the lacrosse teams are somewhat a little more conservative leaning. And like even those guys usually generally are like, yeah, that's cool that you're doing that, you know?
They're not into what they're seeing.
No, I mean, one of the guys in film the other day, we were talking about the Epstein files, and he was in the Navy for 4 years, and he was like, I'm glad I'm not serving this country anymore. you know?
Is that pretty much the general sentiment for guys in their 20s right now, taking a look at the government and taking a look at what's happening in our country? I don't know where I would be. I mean, I lived in a period of time as a young man where the government kind of worked, where you did feel like America was special and it did feel free and safe, and we had a black president and it felt more equal. I don't recognize this country, so I'm wondering what it's like for you.
Yeah, I think it's extremely uncontroversial at this point to be protesting. Like, I've barely talked to anybody who disapproves of it, you know?
You don't have friends that are Trump supporters.
I do, but, well, I have teammates who are Trump supporters, and, like, I think they're shifting, you know? I think they're realizing what they paid for. You know, I really think sentiment is shifting. It's just, is it too little, too late? You know, and I don't really have that many friends that go to protests that I didn't already meet at the protest.
I see.
You know, but once the LA Taco article came out, I did get friends who were like, I'd want to go to this now. I want to take part in this.
You're going to keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to keep bringing the bagpipes.
Yeah. That's all I'm good for, you know?
That's all you're good for?
Yeah.
You're in college?
Yeah.
What's your major?
Computer science with a minor in math.
Your parents have seen all this?
Yeah.
And you talk to them?
Yeah.
You guys are close?
Yeah, we're close.
So what's their take?
Well, my mom is going through chemo right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So she's the healthiest person I know. Like, she walks like 10 miles a day after the chemo.
Oh, that's good.
You know, it's also really inspiring to see her, and she has a lot of community support in Napa. But I really don't want to put any more stress on her than that's already being put on her by the chemo.
Is she worried?
Yeah,
For you?
Yeah, she's worried for my safety.
She knows you've been arrested. She knows you've been in places where there's law enforcement that's, unpredictable.
Yeah. But she also knows I'm like this.
I ask this a lot to people who are sitting where you're sitting and have power and authority to possibly make change or work in the space of reform. I always ask them how they see this ending or how they want it to end. Because you're kind of in the middle of it. It may even get worse.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't get worse. I don't speculate very much because I just don't know.
Do you want the raids to stop? Do you want immigrants to have a safe way to stay in the country? What
Absolutely. The raids stop. I want immigrants to have an easier way to get in because I think the current process is too difficult. I think they're a benefit to us by being there, and I think we can help each other. We're good for each other, you know? They come here and we help them, and they help us too, you know? So I want that. I think we're just gonna have to rebuild ICE. We need some kind of immigration enforcement. It can't be nothing, but I think the whole organization is going to have to be rebuilt. And then, I mean, it's ICE, it's immigration control, but it's also kind of Trump's private army, you know?
It goes beyond immigration.
They'll do what Trump tells them to. And after the midterms, they're getting a lot more money. And so by opposing them on the immigration grounds, hopefully we can be building a system to oppose them if they go beyond that.
Do guys your age and your generation look to a hopeful America? Do you have hope that the country's going to right its way?
I don't know. I try not to think about it, but it seems like pretty much all of us are either addicted to weed or drinking or anything, because I don't think people are very helpful. I mean, if we can get Trump out of power and swing things back a lot farther left, I think we'll be good.
So you'll keep protesting? I'll
keep protesting. I don't like there's my friends are out there, you know. I don't want them to be out there without me. I don't want to miss all the fun, you know.
You have to get a new definition for the word fun.
Yeah. I guess I'd say once you figure out that you want to do something, you want to help, then you got to figure out what's the most effective way for me to help. I think for the majority of people, like, going around following ICE and trying to monitor their activities and getting that information out to the community is the best way to help. And me personally, I protest because I'm quite busy with school and lacrosse. And I figure if I just give a lot in those little moments, I'll still have time left to do everything else I need to do. So that's why I mainly focus on protesting rather than community defense, is because I'm doing school and everything. And
You're suggesting to be part of a rapid response network?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that those people are the ones that are really getting it done.
They have.
Yeah.
It's been proven that they keep people from being taken
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah.
They put their lives on the line. They put their bodies in front of law enforcement and protect people in their homes or businesses.
Yeah, those people are absolute heroes.
Other than being a part of a rapid response, you're using your skills and your talents. You encourage other people. I've seen people painting murals. I've seen people standing on bridges with these creative signs. And I mean, people are definitely using their skill sets.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it seems like this is the point where all the random skills I feel like I had to learn are just coming into effect. In terms of other people being creative, I think a massive part of the protest game is in getting good imagery that makes us look good and makes them look bad. And like that's what I think a big part of the civil rights marches are about.
Of course.
Is making us look good and making them look bad. So that's what I think because I don't think of the bagpipes as like as much of a creative instrument. You know, I'm not writing music. I'm just taking what's already there and using it for a purpose. Like you'll learn a tune and this is a tune for this purpose. You know? So I kind of see it as less of a creative thing and more of like you're almost a mechanic. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. You know, the image of Rosa Parks in the front of a bus. Rosa Parks was in a protest demonstration to allow Black people to sit at the front of the bus. So that image of her at the front of the bus, there's a very famous picture of her sitting in the very front seat of the bus behind the bus driver, was a staged image. It wasn't part of an actual protest. That was a photographer and a set-up image, but it changed people's thoughts about where a Black person could sit on the bus. So to your point, creativity. A photographer took that picture, set up that picture to make them look bad and the other people look good. So
I know it was staged. I think it was genius.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we need more things like that. I think we're at a point with like the general relation to truth that doesn't matter if it's staged. You know,
it's all staged.
Yeah.
A lot of this is rhetoric. A lot of this is show.
Yeah.
A lot of this is for the cameras. So you're basically saying, why not fight fire with fire? Why not do it the other way around?
Yeah. Yeah, and like there's a reason I look like I do. You know, I'd like to get some tattoos. I'd like to get piercings and stuff, but I want to present an image that appeals to the other side. You know, because if they see like bagpipe player does this, okay, but if they see crazy woke bagpipe player with like a dyed hair and everything, then they're like, that's just some woke weirdo, which I am a woke weirdo, but I'm trying to present an image that they can relate to, if that makes sense.
I love it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Thank you for listening to The Raid, available wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about our guests and the subjects we cover, please visit our website at theraidpodcast.org.